Do the hits. It's
All right, Panther fans, how we doing? So today, what the hell is it? Is it two? Yeah, it's Tuesday. We're
Tuesday
getting
the 20th.
close. Yep. Camp opens up. I've got my notes here. I've got a statistic here that I'm in love with. Um, Camp opens Thursday. First live stream of the year is Thursday at 7 o'clock. That's this Thursday. And couple things. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Appreciate that. In one small
Flying,
piece. Oh, go
flying
ahead.
fluffy hockey.
Yeah.
The #1 Panther fan podcast in the world. If you're not subscribed, you need to subscribe.
Du's my salesman. So, real quick, before we get into the subject of today's video, which is Matthew Tkachuk. And I'm saying this, I'm grateful for it. There's a lot of people that want to have conversations with me, chat back and forth, get a hold of me, etc., etc. That's fine. What I'm trying to do is condense it all. So if you want to have a conversation with me, you want to get a hold of me, talk to me, flyingfluffyhockey@gmail.com is the way to do it, because especially as the season gets in, I'm just too busy to constantly check Instagram and the Discord and Facebook messages and Twitter and so on and so forth. So I end up behind in communication with people. It looks like I'm trying to avoid people or not want to talk to you. It's just some days, and Stu can vouch for this. If my eyes are exhausted at 7 o'clock, I'm done. Nobody's going to hear from me the rest of the day because I have to get off of the screens, and that's it. So if I could condense it all to flyingfluffyhockey@gmail.com, that'd be a big help. That'd be a big help. Okay. So today we have Matthew Tkachuk. And
before we get into Matthew Tkachuk,
okay.
hats off for a moment of silence.
Oh, geez. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't shave my head for this, but go ahead.
Keith Yandel.
Yes.
Officially retired today. Thanks, Keith, for all the good stuff, and fuck you for all the bad stuff.
I don't know what he said. I had my headphones
enjoy
off.
your retirement. Nah, just
yeah.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
And somebody had already asked me on Twitter. No, it doesn't have any effect on the cap hit. Nope. We still have that cap hit. Okay. I'm bursting at the seams with this because, as you guys know, I don't bring heavy statistics to things, but I'm very basic that way. But when I added things up this morning, I'm doubly liking the trade. So let's get to it. Let me just spit this out because. All right. That's Matthew Tkachuk's first. That's his career statistics. Okay. He's had six seasons. He has hardly missed any games. He has 152 goals, 230 assists for 382 points in
431 games.
431 games. Now, I'm going to bring you to Huberdeau's page. And I have it written down. In Huberdeau's first 6 years, he had 94 goals, 172 points for 266, or 172 assists for 266 points. Now, I know that he had that 1 year that was shortened. So in the 6 years, he played about 50 fewer games. However, in year 7, Huberdeau had 92 points and played a full season. And he still, in those 7 seasons, doesn't match the point production as Tkachuk has in his first 6. So I am even happier than I was about the trade. What I said in the prediction video was that I'd rather have 8 more years of Tkachuk than 8 more years of Huberdeau. And I'm just when I saw that, because the idea being we've all seen how Huberdeau's gotten better and better and better over the course of his career. Well, what's the basically Tkachuk in is already 120 points better than where Huberdeau was at this point in his career. And if he continues that upward arc like he had last year, you're going to be in good shape. Stu, what you got? Do you need me to leave the statistics up for you?
No, go back to Tkachuk's statistics.
Okay.
I mean, the numbers are numbers,
Right.
but I think the difference between the two players. I mean, look at his penalty minutes.
He takes, yeah.
The big difference for me is, you're trading finesse for grit, tenacity, meanness, nastiness, whatever you want to call that. That's something that, Huberdeau really wasn't a mix-it-up type of guy.
Right.
Tkachuk would drop the gloves with anybody. That's number one. Number two, and I'll say it, even if he's not on our team, Huberdeau is the best passer in the league.
Yeah.
But he's not the type of guy that will mix it up in front of the net. And that's a player that we need. That's a new style of play that we need. We need bodies in front. And I mean, you and I were big on the trade from day one. I mean, nothing's changed. I'm just jonesing to see this guy play. And again, it's a question of who's he going to play with, and how's that line, going to dominate? Because I do feel whoever he plays with, it's going to be a dominating line.
Right. Yeah. I guess my point with all of that was that we, like you're saying, we're going to get this extra added dynamic with the extra toughness and everything that he brings. But anybody concerned about we was going to lose production in terms of points on the ice? No. If those two guys continue the way they've been playing, we're going to get more production out of Tkachuk than we would normally get out of Huberdeau. Now, the interesting thing before I want to hear your thoughts on this, both guys had career seasons last year, right? Both guys were also playing for contracts. So it'll be interesting to see just how much of that played into it, right?
Good point. And that's a very good point. The big thing that you said to me is we got 6 more years of Tkachuk than we do Huberdeau.
Right.
When does Huberdeau's skill set start not winding down, but decreasing?
Right.
I don't think it happens for at least another 4 years, 5 years maybe.
But sure.
But I mean, Tkachuk's got 6 years to go before he reaches
before he catches
up. Huberdeau's at now.
Right.
So,
right.
I'm just stoked. I can't wait to see this kid play. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in a fight the first game.
Yeah.
Just the home game, the first home game.
Right.
Yeah, he just drops the gloves because he just wants to get the crowd involved.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out Thursday. I mean, I assume it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure Twitter is going to be just a beautiful mess when the first lines are out there. And, I've made my case. I'm not looking to have a top heavy lineup. I'd like to have all 3 lines be laid out. But you don't know what Maurice is, you don't know what Maurice is thinking. Losing Duclair kind of hurts in the sense that with Duclair, it's kind of almost a no-brainer to at least try Tkachuk with Barkov and add that to that line, because then you'd have Duclair in the second line, and you're in good shape there. So that kind of changes things a little bit. I remember last year when we got Reinhart and we all figured, okay, he's going to play with Barkov, and then that didn't really work out. The chemistry just wasn't there. So, who knows
And,
what's going to go down. Go ahead.
and I'm making a prediction now, and I might be wrong, but I don't see Tkachuk playing with Barkov either.
Right. Well,
We shall see.
yeah, we shall see. I mean, I'm trying to marry the two games with Barkov and Tkachuk or Bennett, and I'm just thinking about with Bennett and Tkachuk on the same line. Um, whoever the other winger is going to be is going to be the beneficiary of that, because those two guys are going to mix it up and take a lot of air out of the space, take a lot of space up, you know what I mean? And so whoever ends up on their line might end up the guy with the most goals, because Bennett and Tkachuk could be busy, mixing it up and getting assists. And Tkachuk's not a bad assist guy either, right? It's not a situation where we had a couple years ago. Was it for Toronto? Somebody had some crazy amount. It was like 20 goals and only like 6 assists or somebody. I forget who that was, but that's certainly not, that's not Kachuk's game at all. And I know some people have said, it wasn't magical when he played with Bennett before. Players evolve, players change. Bennett's a lot,
And it
a lot
and
more confident.
it might not be Bennett either. We just don't know.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing right now. As you know, as we sit here making this video, I don't have a clue what Maurice
No,
has in his mind.
right, right.
And
No,
again, it's going to come down to chemistry and training camp is where it starts. And I think the first 10 games there might be some juggling.
well, if the roster's the way it is now, I mean, we also have that hanging out there. Like I said, we could, if we put, I guess the defenseman, I guess you pronounce his name Shaline, I guess Shaline or Shal. If you put him down to the minors, that's gets us cap compliant, and we have a team. We'll have 12 forwards and 6 defensemen. My assumption, my guess, my thought, my desire was that if we were going to make a move, we would do it before camp. So we're kind of running thin on time. I have a
Yeah.
feeling that we'll wake up. It'll be like with the Huberto trade. Whoever's up at midnight Wednesday night will get to break the news. If something happens. But overall, I've said it. I'm comfortable with where we're at. If Zito wants to roll the dice and roll with the guys that we have now, I would rather not have Duclair until the playoffs than lose Hornquist, right? I'd love for him to find a way for us to keep, for us to have both. I know there's some people that think, from trade deadline, we're going to package Hornquist and Duclair to get defensive help. I mean, if it doesn't work out, maybe. But I've said before, I like the guys that we have. We don't need superstars on defense. It's nice to have Ekblad, right? But at the same point, I like what Maurice has been preaching so far, which is just play smart, right? We don't need superstars. You know what I mean? We just need guys who are going to be in the right
I
position.
totally agree with you. All the guys that were freaking out that giving up Uyghur really did us in on defense. Bullshit. You're going to watch Forsing's going to step up. Carlson's going to get a chance to play regularly. He's going to step up. Montour is going to have a great year. I'm just looking at Mark Stahl to see if he holds up his end. Gudas stays healthy.
Right.
He does his thing.
Right.
I'm not worried.
No,
I'd like obviously for Bob to have another great year.
Oh, happy birthday, Bob.
Great year. We get, if the goalies are solid this year,
right,
and the defense is good, they don't have to be great.
Yeah.
But the new system where the forwards are coming back and not thinking offense first, That's going to be key. Getting the goals against down. I'm perfectly happy with giving up goals for to have the
Right.
goals against reduced. I want to
Right,
see a
right.
new. I want to see a new team.
I agree.
You know, Showtime is great. Run and done. 5, 6, 7, 8. We won 10 goals. It's all
Right.
great, entertaining, but it got us nowhere in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So for all, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The regular season should be just a warm up for the playoffs.
Yeah. And
Gary, you know, the way we play in the regular season is the way we should play in the playoffs. You can't
Right.
switch from that run and gun Showtime. Obviously, the opposing team, they watch video. They knew.
Well,
Anyway.
you know, and when you're set up that way, the way we were, all Tampa basically had to do was clog
Clog,
things up, stop
clog
us from
things.
scoring enough, and they knew we would eventually make the mistakes on defense that they could take advantage of. And
Penalties.
yeah, well, that
Penalties.
too. Yeah.
That killed us.
Yeah.
Listen, getting back to Tkachuk, my final
Yeah,
words
yeah.
on Tkachuk.
Sure.
I'm really excited to see how he comes out in the first few games again, because he's put it out there. I got the swagger.
Right.
Watch me. Now he's got to deliver.
Yeah.
So I'm really anxious to see. I have a feeling he's going to get, you know, some rebound goals. He's going to get some, you know, really gritty goals. I'm just anxious to see who he's going to play with, and you know, I can't wait to game 1.
I know, I'm right there with you. You know, the one thing I'm thinking about while we're talking about this, because like we said, we don't know what Maurice is thinking. You know, and this is no knock on Sam Bennett. I mean, we're loaded at center, but you know how I would also love to see it. I want to see how the chemistry is, because you know, when guys find chemistry, right? And I'm not sure how this would work lefty righty with Reinhart and Tkachuk, but like Lundell with Reinhart and Tkachuk, I would love to see
Yeah,
that. I would
yeah,
love to see, just show it to me. Does
yeah.
it work? You know?
I agree. Even though Kachuk's not a third line player, unless you
Right.
move
Well, that would be a
Lundell
second
up to
line at that
2C,
point.
but Tkachuk, let's say Reinhardt, Marchment, and Lundell were a fantastic line.
Yeah.
Can you imagine putting Lundell with Tkachuk and Reinhardt?
Right. Yeah. It's like remaking that line and just swapping Marchment and Tkachuk. Right. Yeah. No, that's a second line. I mean, we were saying that a lot last year.
That's 1B.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's another thing I'm curious. I want to see how Lundell, how much weight he was able to put on in the gym, and how, you know, because he did struggle with the injuries a little bit a lot.
I got news
Year.
for you. Lundell reminds me of Goudreau more than Barkov does.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
The way he
All right.
plays.
Yep. And the one
That's
one
why
other
I said
thing,
it's all going to come to. That's why I'm saying in my mind, in my gut, I don't see Barkov and Tkachuk as a tandem.
right? No, I think if everybody's healthy, really that spot should be to declare, because he's the, you know, not that Verhaeghe's not, but that with Verhaeghe and Duclair on Barkov's wings, it takes
That's
the
the
pressure
line.
off for him to score. So you know what I mean? He
That's
can be his
that's
pass first.
that's
Yeah.
the line when Duclair comes back, but obviously
Yeah.
he's not back yet.
Right.
But yeah, so let's entertain that Lundell, Tkachuk, Reinhardt line. Then what do you do? Then, you know, Bennett's been a 2C since he's here. Do you move him down, and who do you move him with?
Well, who's left? Huh? 'Cause I just blew up the
Vouchers,
team.
White.
Right. I mean, Bennett with Balsers and White, because maybe. Well, you know, I mean, we're talking about before Duclair comes back, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. We're definitely short there. You know what I mean? There's only so many options that we can do, but we'll see. We'll have to see
Right,
what
we'll
more.
see.
It's just we could sit here. I mean, and everybody's doing it. We're all just like, who's going to play with who, and there's just so many different fantastic combinations that you can think of to put guys together. Um, it's we're not, and that's the one thing I want to touch on before we go. I made a long video over the weekend about this a little bit. And I don't get why there's fans of any our team, any other team, why they're saying that we lost so much. When I just to shorten what I said in that other video, I just kind of went for, one by one. And somebody brought up a good point because I had said the one hole that was really created that we really didn't fill was Marchment. And somebody said it's not so much that we lost Marchment, it's that we didn't keep Mammon to replace him. And when he said that, I said, "Oh yeah, that's a good point." And I just
Mammon left because he didn't get played, and that happened to him the first time around.
right,
And he basically said, "Fuck it, I'm out of here. You're not going to play me. I'll go back to
right,
Russia." You're right.
yeah,
That's big. The kid
right,
had a really solid. I mean, the second half of the year in the
yeah,
playoffs.
yeah. No, he was
That
good
was
out there.
that's a big loss. That's not a big name, but that's a big
Right,
loss.
yeah. No, you could.
So
We were plugging him in, and he was giving us quality minutes. He wasn't scoring a ton, but he was creating opportunities. And when
yeah,
you got guys,
he couldn't finish. But
right, right,
anyway, listen, for all you
yeah,
guys and gals that are worried, don't worry. We're going to have a good team. I'm not making any predictions of finishing first or whatever, because quite
right,
frankly, I don't give a shit. We
right,
make the playoffs and we play during the year like we should in the playoffs. We have a new system in place, more
yep,
aggressive, more defensive minded, protecting the goalies. We're going to get our goals, and we're going to win. We're going to win a lot of games.
yeah.
Not saying we're going to win like we won last year, but we're going to have a good team. I'm excited.
Give me your points for Tkachuk. What's your points prediction?
I'm going to say 93 points.
Okay.
I'm going to say he gets at least 25 goals. Nah, maybe he gets more goals. I don't know. Maybe he gets like 27, 28 goals. Again, depending on who he plays with, especially if he's out on the power play.
So that's a huge thing we didn't even bring up. He's going to add a dimension to the power play. I hope. You never
Yeah.
we've seen. You never know what the coaches are going to do. We could be sitting there screaming on the couch, wondering where the hell he is. But I think he's going to get close to 50 goals.
50 goals?
I think he's going to lead the team in scoring, and I think he's going to get close to 50 goals. I think he's going to be like a freaking maniac.
That would
I
be
think
awesome.
I think he, even though he probably doesn't, well, I guess he does have something to prove, even though he doesn't really probably feel like he does. I think just the change of scenery, and I'm not going to get here and guess, right, why those guys wanted to leave. But that's two really good players that wanted to leave. There's got to be some reason that they wanted to do that. Whatever it is, my assumption is if the guy scored 100 and whatever last year when he was thinking, I'm not sure if I want to be here, he's going to come down here with the sunshine. And I think he's going to be a freaking madman on the ice, like a man possessed. That's my take on it.
I
So,
agree. Listen, he said it.
yeah,
He
right.
came right
Yeah,
out and said it. I
yeah,
want to be in South Florida, wear flip flops
right.
to practice, and enjoy the sunshine in the afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get caught up in in the Las Olas scene, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, we just got to keep him away from Yandel. I know Yandel's going to be down there by the beach. Keep him away from. He's not allowed to hang out with
You know
Yandel.
what? He's probably gonna end up on Ekblad's boat fishing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They'll figure it out. So
Somebody's gonna take him under their wing. I mean, he's 24. He's a kid.
Yeah. Go hang out at Patrick Hornquist's house. That's the thing.
There you go.
That'll give Hornquist some job security. Right. All right, guys. We really appreciate all the support. And we're getting there. We may have one more of these before things are going down, but we'll see how that works out. I'm getting a pop-up window on my computer here. I don't care that my McAfee. Oh, geez. I'm breaking the whole thing. All right, that's enough. That's enough technology for me today. Appreciate all the support. Don't forget Thursday night, 7 o'clock. That's the first stream. Should be fun. We'll have some stuff to talk about, being that that's the first day of camp, unless something big happens before then, and then Stu and I'll jump right on it, unless it's midnight.
Listen, you guys have. Yeah, I'm anxious to hear what the regular guys that comment.
Mhm.
What do you think about Lundell, Reinhart, and Tkachuk as a line?
Yeah.
Curious
Yeah.
to hear your opinion on that.
Yeah. Good idea. All right, guys.
That's it.
Yep, that's it. We'll see you again real soon.